that you're trying to retrain?
So it's the mage's 9 that he's got burning spell that he wants to drop, and he wants to move to closer range. I think that's
Yeah, so you can retrain it there. You know, with your knowledge arcana and being I believe, an initiate. Are you a full guild wizard or are you initiate?
Let me check. Somewhere in my notes I am saying this.
I would have to check the tapes to see what exact title you are, but it has been some time since you've checked in with the Arcanaecrum, and you are actually long overdue.
Yeah, I definitely am overdue.
A lot of library fees, you buddy.
Arcanaecrum. Yes, I am a apprentice of the Arcanaecrum.
Got it.
And in brackets it says potentially an initiate.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, you only started, and I remember you visited there very early on. So,
I think I was a 3rd level when I was there.
yeah.
I think.
Yep. Okay. So, are you letting anyone know that you're taking a visit into not only the Grand Station, but the Plateau District of the Grand Station, and then more specifically to the Tower of Arcana?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is something Zephyros would keep as a secret. He's got no reason to keep it as a secret.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys are all having dinner. Buchrabech is not there.
And the little Fant that is with me.
Yes. Yeah, let's back up a little bit. How have you occupied Goba during this time?
So Goba... So I think we need to know a little bit about Goba's character, or what Goba is trying to do. You know, is Goba interested in the magic realm at all? Is he training? Is he...
Goba knows you're a Tusker and finds it fascinating.
Got it. Do I know if... And Goba's kind of young, right?
Goba's, yeah, like the equivalent of like a 10-year-old boy.
Do I know if they may have a job for somebody like him at the Arcanaecrum, or somewhere along the way for where I'm going? Something that'll help him settle and, start a life.
You know that the Arcanaecrum has processes and tests that they can run to see if Goba is suitable as a student. You learn that Goba's parents, he was separated from his parents and brought here from Bostera by some bad men.
Okay. So,
you think from his story that these bad men were the plague doctors, and they may have killed his parents and abducted him.
Okay.
Goba is the little Fant child who was rescued by the party when they attacked the Hospice of the Blessed Maiden, and killed all the plague doctors and the evil witches of Hecate and the undead and fiends and whatnot.
He was in the room with one was a raven, and what was the other one was like a tabaxi or something, or
yeah, one was they're called Aka, bird people, large category of bird people, and then the other one was I believe a Rakasta, which is really old Greyhawk speak for cat people. Rakasta specifically great cat people, as opposed to catfolk, which is like the analog of house cats. Goba's interested in magic. He knows you're a Tusker, and he's interested in everything. So he actually has been palling around while you've been busy with Mockernam. He
And
seems to like to play hide and go seek with Macronom, like what container is Macronom kind of thing.
And I think Macronom probably enjoys it more than he does.
Sure, it keeps Macronom busy, I guess.
It's close. They're both really having a good time.
I think while I was rebuilding the smithy, he might have been sort of interested in what I was doing, but a little bit in the way.
Yeah, you may be eager to get him there. Are you doing any of the testing yourself, or are you going to let wizards at the Arcanaecrum
No,
do
I'm going to
it?
let wizards at the Arcanaecrum do it. Zephyros isn't looking for an apprentice, and he doesn't want to send a signal with a message that, he is going to be the master of this young lad.
You don't want to give this little poor Fant some false hope?
Yeah, you could say that, but, Zephyros is also in the back of his mind going, well, he needs to find a place for this Fant to live, and if he tests him, and it's negative, then he knows he has a bigger problem. So he's hoping that if he can take the Fant to the Arcanaecrum, he can offload a little bit of the problem onto somebody else who maybe have the resources to make a better decision.
All right, so do you tell Goba that you're bringing him to the wizard tower so he can become a wizard?
Not in that way.
Okay.
But I entice him with, we're gonna go to this place, and we're gonna, they may run some tests, but it's all in good spirit.
Oh, can I go with you to the wizard tower?
I don't know if Macronom should go with him. Does Zephyros have a sense whether or not he would want Macronom to go with him? Probably not.
Well, what are you worried about?
They confiscate the abomination of magic?
Lots of wizards have familiars and pets and weird things. It's almost like a source of pride for wizards to have the weird pet.
Somebody just threw this thing in the wizard trash too, right? It was kind of
Right. It's a talking bag. There are probably weirder things in that tower than Macronom.
Why do you want to come with Macronom?
It's a big tower of wizards.
Sure. Why not?
Okay, alright. I thought you were going to leave me here.
Well, it's not about leaving you here. I just don't want you to get lost in there. It is big.
The crawling claw taps the professor on his shoulder.
You want to go too? Those stuffy old fools. Oh, we lost your reputation.
When you said you're about to, it actually puts its finger over your lips. It then sign languages with you that it wants to go with Zephyros. Quietly.
I'll shrug and do the little. Yes, as you will.
Okay. He then sends you the message, in order to fool the teleport, I need to be inside an extra dimensional space that Zephyros is carrying.
Macronom, I may have some things for you to hold for me.
Oh, okay. Make it quick though. I'm going to the Tower of Wizards.
Yes, let me see. This book here. I will grab whatever the closest book in this kitchen is.
Your crawling hand is like, how am I going to get out?
Yes, Macronom, I have a mission for you. I need you to take this copy of my first treatise on becoming immortal and other very fabulous things.
Okay, is it for eating or for keeping?
For keeping for the moment.
Okay, it does look tasty though, but I'll keep it for you.
Oh, please, do not eat it. It is filled with delicious knowledge, but you must keep it. Yes, upon entering the tower, please proceed to give this to the library. They'll want to put a copy into circulation, considering all the great knowledge in it.
Zephyros hears this, and he would have questions, right? Because the professor doesn't have anything to do with the Arcanaecrum.
Yes, well, as you know, they have a reputable library, and it is important to one's reputation to have their works displayed in said reputable library. Therefore, could you please deliver this? They'll no doubt be wanting their copy.
Is Zephyros still under the professor's compulsion spell? Where if
Nope.
the professor... Okay.
That wore off. You can remove that from your character sheet. That wore off in the when you were in the library last.
I would say let's make a roll, and if the roll, let's roll a d6, and if it's above a 3, then Zephyros is inclined to allow this, and if it's below a 3, then it's not. Then he's not, because I don't know how he would have. It depends. You want to make the roll, Luke?
Oh, you go for it.
So above a 3, Zephyros is inclined. Below a 3, Zephyros is going to push back.
Do it. Let's see it. What do we got?
It's a 3!
I can see by the look in your eye, you're not too keen on this, Zephyros.
No, I am not. The Arcanaecrum is not a place that you just walk into and deliver books on behalf of other people. They kind of want you to do it personally if you were to do it. So if you want to come with, that is one thing. But if you want me to be your messenger, a Tusker is not a messenger in the Arcanaecrum.
Yes, point taken. I thought more it was sort of the drop-off slot for incoming works. Didn't mean to put you out.
Crawling Claw goes like this to when Zephyros says you can come with.
But yes, I should deliver it in person. They'll no doubt want my signature or something appropriate.
Okay, so that is it. We are going as a party.
Yes, but
Yay.
I see those stuffy old fools from the Isthmic Logos Institute and how they've lost my application for the 3rd time, and you're not grand enough, Henry, for entrance. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind, Zephyros.
You give them whatever you want. Just make sure I'm somewhere else when you do.
No, yes, well, shall we?
Okay. Zephyros, you were able to teleport to the vicinity of, that was your teleportation roll, to the vicinity of the Arcanaecrum without any problems. You know to do this outside in the street, not inside the Arcanaecrum. You might end up in some teleportation trap or some defense that, that you have not learned about as an initiate, not even an apprentice. Of course, your apprenticeship happened outside of the Arcanaecrum itself through your master. You arrive there, and I've got a map, actually, for all this, so I'm just going to copy you guys and move to something called the Chamber of the Source and the Null Sphere. Remember this?
Yeah, where they feed the scrolls and stuff in.
Yeah. So I'm just going to unfog a little bit in the lower hand corner. Now, you arrive at the Arcanaecrum. Zephyros, you end up passing by some mage bureaucracy, like you have to declare who you are and what your business is here, and you've got several pieces of business. They look your name up, and they look up your mage sigil, actually, which is a unique sigil that every wizard has. And think of it like your magical, calligraphy signature. They realize that you haven't been assessed in a while, and they want you to go through an assessment. At the same time, you mention that. What about Goba? That you think that?
Yeah, so I tell them about.
With me, I have this Goba, who is a homeless young lad who was abducted, and his parents killed by evil doers. And I suspect he might be interested in magic, and that you may want to test him and see for yourself.
With all due respect, Zephyros, we are not running a orphanage here.
Yes, yes, with all due respect, neither am I.
You wish to enroll him. You realize that the testing is a rather expensive prospect.
Well,
It can take several days, and to pay for a wizard's time, we're looking at $120, $150.
oh, it's a lot of money, but
You're in line behind the professors. The professor just snickered. There was a time where that was a lot of money.
yes, yes. Well, it is a lot of money, but I feel the lad is probably worth it.
Very well. I fill out this paperwork. Has he shown any signs of magical aptitude?
He has shown an incredible interest in, the tools of my trade while I was working.
The wizard, the young wizard stuck at this desk, rolls his eyes. Of course he's interested. It's a magic, and he's a child.
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you pay him the 150 gold pieces?
I reluctantly pay him the 150 gold pieces.
Okay.
I count it out as if I don't have much.
Pains you. Each coin pains you to set down.
Each coin pains
All right.
me, while my magic little satchel contains thousands more.
It's fine, and it turns out that Goba's just smart enough to learn magic, and they're willing to take him on as an apprentice.
Wow. He's gonna remember this so differently.
Yeah.
And you, like, begrudgingly, like, oh, fuck this kid. 150 gold? I don't even want this kid.
Yes, the Fantas will be busy for the next few days. You should swing. You could stop by and see how he's doing in about 3 days. Now, as for you, apprentice, he looks up at you. You should be assessed. It has been some time since you've checked in last.
Yes.
Wow, second circle spells, huh?
Wait, was that the last time I checked in?
Well, that is what the Tome of Wizardry says. And he does actually have a book, which is kind of neat. It's like you trace your sigil into a stone. He puts the stone against the page, and then information about you actually appeared in the book.
Interesting. I am up to 5th circle spells at the moment.
He coughs for a little bit as he was drinking some tea. Did you say 5th?
Yes. As it turns out, I don't know what the other wizards are doing. Seems like they're leaving all of the dirty fights to me at this point.
You better not be pulling on my cowl.
Do you see me standing on the ground? You can do the deck magic if you like. You'll see I'm not casting fly.
Apologies, Mr. Eusthathios. This way.
Zephyros just flies along with him.
Yep. Someone will be with you in a moment, and they seem to be separating you, Henry, from the professor. At this point in time, when there's no one at the front seat, while you doubt these halls are big and long, you do feel your familiar climbing out of your belly button. It gives you a signal like, "I'll be right back," and scurries into the Arcanaecrum.
Oh, where has he gotten off to? Oh, just hang out in this lobby like an old man in a waiting room.
Okay, holding on to your important manuscript. You're like, yeah.
Just suspicious of youngsters.
All right, Zephyros, you're kind of told to wait in a very, very nice room. It's got upholstered chairs, some of them big enough for you. There's a beautiful mahogany conference table. There are kind of curios and little lit alcoves throughout the room. It's got the smell of fresh spell components in the air. Like it's a nice place. Unseen servants actually like serve you some wine.
This is very nice.
Do I trust the wine? Do Zephyros drink some of it?
It tastes good. It's better than most wines. You do see that there is a woman talking to several apprentices at the far end of the room. She has a very noble countenance, almost like very, very stiff-backed. She's got very ornate looking jewelry, which is likely magical, a high-backed robe, and you can't help but notice a strategically placed starburst medallion that has a glowing purple crystal in it. Knowledge Arcana?
Sure.
Oh, pretty. You're not too sure whether he's talking about the woman or the magic items that she's wearing, or random things in the room that Mockernome may want to eat.
That face.
Knowledge Arcana coming up. 29.
Okay, you know this woman's name by reputation. There are half a dozen, maybe a few more, regents of magic. They are the second highest rank in the Arcanaecrum, the highest being the Chancellor. She is Regent Calicity is her name. She is a archwizard and diviner. And she is the regent of internal concerns at the Arcanaecrum. Another wizard wanders in, and you can't help but notice this one. This is no mere apprentice. By the impenetrable dark cowl that he wears, and the disembodied floating eyeball that is bobbing around his head. The eyeball just snaps and is looking at you as he walks into the room. He stops for a moment. He looks from underneath his cowl. Impenetrable darkness. You can't even ascertain, like, he's a human, maybe? Excuse me.
Yes.
But are you Zephyros?
May I ask, who is asking?
I am an old colleague of your master. How fares Telamon?
I am sad to report to you that Telamon has passed.
Weak is a wizard that cannot avoid a simple thing like old age.
That may be so. But weak is a wizard who has to fight alone against a world of enemies, without the help of other wizards.
It regards you for an uncomfortable amount of time socially. It is good to see you, Zephyros. I'm sure it will not be the last time.
Yes. I am sure it won't be.
The eye kind of kind of looks between the two of you. Its iris changes. The color of the eye actually changes to like green, and it goes bobbing after his master. You can give me a knowledge arcana on this guy.
Sure. Knowledge Arcana coming up. Oh, wow, nat 1, 21.
21, you think that guy was the regent. You think that guy was a regent. You're having a hard time remembering his name. Like, he's one of the 6 or 7, like, higher-ups in this place. You hear a voice in your head. It is a female voice. It is strong. It is very polite and proper. He doesn't seem to like you.
That may be. Though I don't know why. But
Are you speaking in your head?
Yes.
You look around the room and you realize that it is the woman at the end of the table that is looking at you, even though she's doing something with the other wizards. She's like pointing out some books that they should be reading or helping them administer. Like she's doing 2 tasks at once.
To be fair, many people don't like me. Mostly because they're bad people.
There's this like polite smile on her face. You notice that one of the wizards like asks her a question a second time, like she was actually reacting to you and not to the other wizard. She just kind of poo-poos him, and he goes off with his stack of books, leaving one wizard who's reading quietly beside her. It is not my business to pry into the affairs outside of the Arcanaecrum, but it is my business to know what happens within.
Zephyros replies and says, I may not know what happens within, but there's a lot happening outside.
Yes, but the politics of outside are also the politics within.
That may be. But I'm not involved in politics. I'm involved in a country where people are dying from a plague, where bad things are brought upon people by people in power who play politics.
Did you know that it has been some time since we've had a regent who is an evoker?
I did not know that. I am an evoker myself.
We don't have an evoker on the Regent Council.
That is interesting.
There are all sorts of reasons why the Arcanaecrum needs an evoker. Again, not my concern on the outside, but definitely concerned within.
It seems that there are similarities between the outside and the inside. An evoker is important in both worlds.
I have heard whispers and rumors of your rise in power, Zephyros. While I don't pry on the outside, many come whispering on within. And she actually looks at the book that this guy's trying to feed her. Finally, she's now paying attention to him, and it's the book that says, like what your appointment is. This appears to be needing an update.
Yes.
She looks across the table, and you notice her eyes flash with magic. You could give me a spellcraft.
Sure, spellcraft. Wait, what? I have to need a roll. 29.
She is using arcane sight on you. Do you have any magics that would block such divinations?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. fifth in such a short period of time. And she takes out what looks like a very special pen and begins to write in magic to change your information in the book.
Ooh, what's your level gonna be?
Would you care to join the Arcanaecrum in the Tower of Arcana as a guild wizard?
Would that leave me in the Arcanaecrum all the time? Or do I still get to solve problems outside of the Arcanaecrum?
The duties of a guild wizard can be fulfilled in many ways. Teach a class, build a magic item, provide a magic item, pay your dues.
Yes.
All of these things are acceptable to the Arcanaecrum. Some make their home here, while others visit very rarely.
I am here to make my dues, and I will visit regularly.
Then I take that as a yes.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, nice, dude.
She gets up from the table.
If I can, I'll vote for you for wizard president.
Then before I introduce you to the Spell Crux, before I let you bind with the source, you must take your oath.
Does Zephyros know what the oath is?
Yeah, knowledge arcana.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's getting a better roll this time, because his rolls have not been great. He may be 5th level, but he's rolling like a 3rd. 25. Yep. The
The oath. I thought I had this written down, but it's in a book, and I'm flipping madly to try to find it. It's a rather simple one. It's an oath where you basically agree to be part of the Brotherhood of the Arcane Order for no less than 10 years. That you agree to participate in its rituals to further its knowledge and its power, like as in the order. It's sort of like also an oath of loyalty, and that you agree to pay your dues.
Okay. Zephyros nods. He's ready to take the oath.
Okay. She gets you to repeat them. She seems to be... It's weird that she's making you do it in your head, but she doesn't seem to be casting any spell behind it. She's trustworthy enough, I guess, within the order to write in the book. After you take your oath, she looks you over, and then... Is there any guile or intent to break your oath?
From Zephyros? No, he's committed.
Okay. She writes something into the book. She hands the pen back to the student. She gets up, and then she says out loud, "Then let us find you a crystal."
Ooh.
She walks with you down the hallway, and you can see people glancing. They might assume that you've now, in the hierarchy of wizardry, have been invited by her. As much as you didn't want to be involved in politics, there may be some politics being played here.
that is entirely possible. Zephyros is not oblivious to it.
There are wizards that are whispering. She does bring you to a small chamber that is across from a chamber that you've seen before, where you went and gave offering of spells. This place is guarded by 2 Nullman guards. You know that the Nullman are like magic-eating order that kind of serve as a military branch, or at least an enforcement branch of the Arcanaecrum. They're a scary sort, as they have all sorts of ways of nullifying magic. She just walks by them like it's no big deal and goes into a small chamber. After going through some wards, the chamber is filled with all sorts of tiny bits of what look like amethyst crystal. We need to find one that is attuned to you, or that can be. This will be your link to the source.
Okay. Now, Zephyros looks at them. How big are these crystals?
Some of them are like mere flecks upon the white, upon the very, very magically white room. It's almost like this closet is sort of like the loading screen in the Matrix. Like it's very hard to see the edges of the corners, but the little bits of crystal that are all over the place kind of like betray the geometry of the room. Some of the crystal bits are like little flecks. Some of them are like big ass crystals that would go at the end of a staff.
So Zephyros is looking for something that can fit into his pouch, but is still big enough to show if he needed to show it or pull it out visibly. So maybe something that's slightly bigger than thumb size or something like that.
Typically, a wizard finds a stone that works with his magic best by simply gazing upon it with your own detect.
So, okay. So, detect magic is what Zephyros needs to cast, I guess.
You look around the room, and some of them are really dull. Other ones are like way too bright, or like there's chaotic energies coming off of them. And then you end up finding one that is perfect.
Okay.
And what were you describing? Something that you could...
Yeah, so something that is small enough to fit into his pouch, so that
Yep.
if he doesn't want to display it, he doesn't have to. But big enough so that if he takes it out and he displays it somewhere, maybe on a staff or near a staff, it is visible and it shows the
Okay, it's a purple crystalline thing. It's like a stubby shard about as big as one of your fingers.
Okay.
She then begins to teach you, using this telepathy that she has, very rapidly, how to make connection with the source. The source is a spell crux. An artifact created long ago by the wizards of the Arcanaecrum. Think of it as a spell pool. A pool of spells that any guild wizard can draw upon in time of need. Much like memorizing a spell, the pool can be drawn upon to bring a spell and its power into your mind. Unlike preparing your spells, it can be done quickly. Does the pool know fireball? If you reach out with your mind, and she teaches you the words while holding your crystal, you can sense what is available. We'll go through the actual rules of this, and I'll do a type out, but effectively, You can draw from the spell pool your caster level in spell levels per day. You are expected to repay your debts by casting spells into the crystal. It goes both ways. And the amount of time it takes to conjure a spell into your mind as if you prepared it is 1 round per spell level. You can spend 1 round to ping the source to see what spells are available. You have to know a spell in order to call upon it. She gets you to ping the source, and you know the source is right outside the wall, and the source effectively has close to every standard spell 1st through 3rd currently available in the source.
Do I get a sense that I can call on the same spell multiple times?
If it's in the source multiple times, think of it as a spell bank.
Got it.
Other people are contributing to it, but you're conjuring it into your head. And you cast it as your caster level. You, of course, can't cast things you can't already cast. Like, you couldn't call upon a 6th level spell. Not that you're sensing. You seem to not see any... You see 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spells, almost like little manifestations in your mind through the crystal, and it's incredibly powerful.
But it doesn't need to be a spell that I know. I just need the ability to cast it.
No, it needs to be a spell you also know. You need to have knowledge of that spell. This is a great gift of our forefathers and foremothers to the founders of the Arcanaecrum. Do not abuse it. Do not let your debts go unfulfilled. But I suspect if you are to battle the things that threaten the very tower and the city in which it stands, you will have need of these spells more than other wizards with more selfish concerns.
So what is my debts here? When I use a spell, I replace it? Or I need to cast a spell into it on a daily basis?
At your convenience, you may place spells back into the source. Know that no spell placed into the source can be claimed ahead of time. But there are wizards who have overloaded the source with the same spell so that they know that that spell will be available.
Can I load multiple spells in a day?
Yes.
Okay.
You may pay your debt, or you may also prepay your debt. And you can move either through withdrawal or deposit up to your caster level and spell levels per day. So you're either going one way or you're going the other way, or you're doing a little bit of both. The debt is equal to the spell level. That's basically how they measure it.
You could wait till the end of the day, though, and then just burn all your remaining spells into it?
Yep. Or do it the next morning or the
10
next day.
levels of
Yeah,
spells, right?
10 levels, yeah. They also say that you can prepay up to your 10 levels, and then you would have, like, you'd have no debt after using 10 levels.
Oh yeah.
So your spell balance is something you should keep track of somewhere. Your spell crux balance.
Yep.
It is
Can you prepay 10 and loan 10 in the same day and burn 20?
you could prepay 10, and then the next day you could burn 10, and you'd owe nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can only do 10 in transactions per day.
Correct.
Some 10 per
Got
day.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Know that for more trusted wizards, there are middle and upper echelons of spells. These are for the regents, of course, and for their trusted allies. I hope that as a regent, I will be able to call upon a favor.
Yes, indeed. I may have already done you favors. Maybe you should take a look at who I've dispatched. If politics is the game.
Let's just say that no one will miss the wizards that have recently died. At least I will not miss them crawling around this place. And you hear the name Rolf and who else was... Actually, you just hear the name Rolf.
I'm rather proud of that one. It was a hard fight.
Oh, are you guys gonna say anything? Are these things for eating or for keeping?
She
around.
looks.
This is the time for quiet.
Oh, okay.
She glances at the bag. She doesn't say anything.
Zephyros says, "Come on, we both know it's not the weirdest thing you've seen today."
She purses a smile and says, she changes the topic. As for your dues,
Yes.
a guild wizard owes, in craft, magic item, or deed, $1,000 per month. It is a small thing for a wizard of your capability.
That is indeed correct.
Dues can be delayed for 6 months and under special provisions up to a year before you start to have wizards hounding you.
What sort of deeds would you consider?
There's an entire city of people out there that have coin who wish to craft. Are you capable of crafting magic items?
I am.
Then you can definitely pay your wizard dues through crafting.
What alternatives do I have?
Money,
Okay.
magical goods. It's really rather simple.
So do you see value in fighting evil wizards? Actively?
I do as I can here, as much as I am able in my position.
Yes.
The Arcanaecrum must not fall into the hands of those who would use it for fell purposes.
Like Ralph, for example.
Rolf the Necromancer was but a pawn, but yes,
Yes. But he is a threat no more. Is that not a deed by a wizard?
it is what has gotten you this far and what got you my sponsorship.
Okay.
No, they will not accept wizard dues in payment by dead wizards. I, however, may accept a favor like that, Evoker, she says, and, you kind of catch in your telepathic speech that when she says evoker, she really thinks, like, that's all that evokers are good for, is just, like, blasting the fuck out of things.
To be fair,
yeah,
that doesn't go counter to what Zephyros believes.
Like, there were some memories mixed in there.
This is like headborn to him.
Yeah. There were some memories in there of, like, wizards dueling, like that sort of thing.
So how will I find the people that I need to craft for, or do magical things for, or the people that I need to pay Zollers for, to pay my dues?
You can go to the front desk and tell them you're paying your dues. There are people that come here every day. We do keep track of the rolls of the things they ask us to craft. Really, there is a backlog that is endless.
Okay. So essentially what she's saying is I should teleport there, check it out, and then go back, frequently.
Yeah, and they have the facilities to craft at. You're probably going to create like 12 plus 1 swords for a year, and you'd be gone, like that sort of thing.
Right.
There's probably not enough crafters for the demand.
Sure. Okay.
She's kind of saying that if you can craft and you cast 5th level spells, this shouldn't be a big deal.
Yep. It's only the crafting time away from the party. That's the problem.
Yeah, a day per 1,000 gold pieces. So she's asking for a day of your time per month.
Yep. Zephyros is more than willing to commit to that.
She seems to get a ping or something because she turns her head. If you'll excuse me, I have something to deal with. She seems a little pissed, and she leaves.
Not something that needs an evoker, I guess.
I will know where to look if I do need one. Damn thieves, she says.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right. Little key noises.
What did you do, Professor?
I'm in a waiting room, guys.
Yes, of course you are. Okay.
Okay, wizard comes back and talks to the professor. Yes, can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for the intake for manuscripts for publishing. I have a copy of my latest.
Guild status?
Good standing.
Place your mage sigil here.
I seem to have misplaced mine. Can I have a loaner?
You just trace your sigil upon the crystal.
Oh, yes. Well,
Or cast an arcane mark if you're capable.
let me see here. I'll fumble my way through tracing my sigil on here.
Okay. He places it upon the book and something appears. It says here you're former professor of the Malavella University?
Yes. That's correct. Emeritus these days, but I am quite known for my treatises on extraplanar spaces.
And you've applied to the Ismic Logos Institute 13 times.
Unfortunate clerical error. They have a very unreliable system. But surely they've sorted that out by this point.
I'm sorry, this isn't the university. He looks at you.
Oh, this is not. Where are we?
We're at the Arcanaecrum, the Tower of Arcana, old man.
Aha! Splendid! Do you take manuscripts?
I mean, he casts a spell. Is your book magical?
I may have written some spells in there, but I don't know that it's magical.
You should take your things to the university.
There is a library here, is there not?
Yes, for guild wizards and their apprentices.
Yes, I believe I am both.
Are you a wizard?
Oh, a wizard? Yes, wizard.
He looks at the... It appears that you've registered with the Arcanaecrum 10 years ago.
In that case, I should probably be giving you orders at this point.
You do realize that there are laws in Grand Station that you are to register your spell powers with the Tower of Arcana, even if you are not affiliated with the Arcanaecrum.
Are you jesting with me, boy? You've just told me I registered 10 years ago. My memory may be going, but it's not that bad.
Yes, and you're long overdue for a reassessment.
Well, about that, could we maybe skip that today? A rather unfortunate drain spell has left me a little, underpowered these days. A bit embarrassing.
It says here you are capable of casting second-level spells.
Oh, yes. I am capable of second-level spells. Yes.
Have you progressed in your studies by Ioun?
Yes, progressed. Definitely haven't progressed backwards. No more drain spells after the incident, if you take my meaning.
Sir, what circle of spells are you capable of casting as a wizard?
Second?
Give me a bluff check. Wizards are known for their sense motive.
Yeah. Where's my bluff? Too much scrolling. Bluff. +8. Nice.
He closes the book. So you're gonna have to go to the university. Go out the door, down the stairs, take a left. You'll maybe remember where you are.
Oh, yes, well.
Okay, you can hear the little scampering of your crawling claw. It feels pleased with itself.
I see that hospitality hasn't improved much here. I will wait for my companion. Yes, well.
So, he's... Go wait over there.
I'll wander my way over to a corner.
Yeah, okay. He takes the next person. As you're wandering, you turn and you can see this disembodied floating eye staring right at you. It's about 30 feet away. It's really creepy. But it is looking at you.
Do I recognize it?
Knowledge Arcana?
Should be, I think it was a 28 these days. Yes.
This is as you were leaving the counter with the annoyed wizard.
30?
It is called the Eye of Deer. D-I-R. The Eye of Deer belongs to an archwizard conjurer. His name is Dirganon. He is the regent of archaeology at the Arcanaecrum and member of this very bizarre Ismith Logos Institute.
Yeah, yes, perfect. I will turn to the eye and wave. Hello, dear Garden. Have you found my application yet?
It's just staring at you.
Yes. Blink once for yes, twice for no.
It has no eyelids.
Yes.
It just stares.
You're looking quite moist this morning. I trust things have been well.
Okay, it turns from red to brown for some reason, the iris.
Oh, you don't say. Quite interesting. Well, I hope there's been some interesting discoveries in the deserts lately. Artifacts and that sort of thing. I do hope you'll find the time to share your findings. Maybe over the acceptance of my application.
Okay, the eye stares for a little bit longer and then just floats away.
Don't forget to read the latest copy of my manuscript.
Sir, you're gonna have to take this outside. Wizard comes over and waving you off. Your familiar's like tugging, like it wants to go.
All right. I know when I'm not wanted.
All right. So, by this point in time, there was lots of waiting. Zephyros ends up leaving at the same time that you are. Your patron wizard, your sponsor, basically Zephyros, doesn't have any tasks for you this day, and you can see Henry looks like he's annoying the wizards in the front room. He still has the book that he arrived with in his hands.
So just one question. Is Zephyros now... So when Zephyros came here, he was a apprentice of the Arcanaecrum, potentially an initiate. What is his rank now?
You are a guild wizard.
Okay.
Which means you could take on your own apprentices if you want.
Zephyros does not want.
Yep.
Does Zephyros just goes to check out how the young lad is doing?
Yeah, you check in with him and you can see that he is learning the basics of command words, which is the basic version of magic. Like, anyone could learn the command word, but you gotta start somewhere.
And what was his name again?
Goba.
Goba, thank you.
Goba.
All right, Zephyros seems to leave Goba there, and I guess you guys return to the villa?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
I'll probably grumble to Zephyros the whole teleport home about how they wouldn't even take my manuscript or give me an audience. It's very
I'm so sorry, Professor.
Oh,
We take
maybe
it pretty seriously at the Arcanaecrum.
maybe put in a good word for me. Say that it's an excellent read, and they would really be something special to get it in that library.
Professor, you think for the moment they're not going to cast a spell on me when I say that and see that I've not read it myself?
Yeah, that's a good point. You should peruse it while we have a break.
I don't have a break now. You might have a break, but I am busy working. There's stuff to do, things to craft.
Oh, really,
It's to pay for the Arcanaecrum.
Zephyros, you push yourself too much. We have a summer, you know. Dedicate some time to it. The pursuit of relaxation is a knowledge in and of itself.
Professor, my dear friend, I now have the weight of responsibility.
Okay. We'll say that you go back to the Arcanaecrum to buy your scrolls and retrain your class feature now that you're a guild wizard. That you have no problem doing. The last thing you do on your list is you finish crafting your Rod of Lesser Quicken spell, which is amazeballs. Fereosae, you upgrade your belt, you add magic to your headband, you build a hexing doll, you retrain misfortune to fortune, you craft Pathfinder pouches and a haversack, you add +2 the professor's headband, and you learn some spells. It is a busy autumn.
Yeah. That pouch, that upgrade belt and make pouch week, that's an evergreen seed pouch. It's an item in the book, costs about 8,000, value 16,000, cost 8,000. It's pretty straightforward. it lets you cast entangle spells in places where there are not vines. And I wanted to just cross-check that and see if that fits.
So there's an entangle or spike growth. It manifests as the pouch open, seeds float out. Yeah. Cool. And scary. Have fun.
Yeah. We'll open up a new part of my spell repertoire.
Cool. Christopher, on behalf of Thurgus, ends up crafting Restful. I think it's on your armor. Some gloves of dueling. Christopher, during his time of crafting, ends up eating a stone, which then he spends about 10 days trying to pass as if it was a kidney stone. Everyone should come out! He's in pain for about 10 days, like after he worked on a stone and then ate it, and then he actually then pees it out.
Good God, why'd you put that in your mouth?
I thought it was never gonna pass. Keep this, it's lucky.
You fucking what?
Keep it.
How the fuck is it lucky? It came out of there.
I want water anyways. Water and blood.
I cast
Not extra
detect
blood
magic.
involved in that one.
Yeah, he ends up crafting via kidney stone a stone of good luck.
I'll keep it.
What? What in the D&D hell?
He then does a bunch of upgrades which would look like to your armor and to your sword.
Yeah.
And a scabbard, apparently.
Yeah, it's a scabbard of many blades.
Alright, which will be weapons and armor used in your upcoming Inquisition. And whatever the vision with the game board called the Ankron Kuli means. I've got something here that says, craft small abyssal steel pick +1.
I'll let Matt talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I have wanted for a while to have a good coup de grace weapon.
Yep.
And I thought that mining would be kind of a nice thing. Mining tends to destroy forests, and I'm going to use it to destroy people that would destroy forests instead. So my plan here is to take the bag of dragon teeth, dump it, and then have several of our nearby friends here bash the skeletons down so that we can take their abyssal steel scimitars and then use the metal from that to craft a pick head.
Okay, where are you dumping the mythic skeletons?
I'm going to coordinate with the professor on this one and ask where the professor would like them. Would you like to control them afterwards, Professor? Maybe you'll be able to, I don't know, take them over or something. Does that make sense?
Yes, that sounds like a capital idea. Perhaps we do this outside so we don't break anything.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. We can get Thurgus to help out. I think he'll be able to make short work of them and dispatch them pretty quickly. And then we can harvest the metal and go back while you do your thing with them. I'll give you the bag to study when we're done.
Ah, splendid. Yeah, most interesting. This was a curious item from one of our earliest paths crossing.
Indeed. Gedrin Lamb's item, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I wonder who he stole it from.
Huh. I think it's Hadean in origin, so I'm going to guess a certain hut.
Yes.
How many teeth did you have left in the bag?
3.
Okay. So you can dump all 3, or are you just going to dump 1?
I'll dump all 3. What the hell?
All right.
Yeah.
As he dumps them, I'll hit him with a Command Undead wand.
Where are you dumping them?
Probably outside, maybe in like the garden or in front of the house or something, right?
So the north garden or the back garden has a wall. You have 2 undead owlbears back there.
Yeah, probably not in there because we don't want to. The owlbears are a bit loose back there.
What?
Let's either go outside or do we have?
I think they're skeletons, right? Or are they zombies? I forget.
They're skeletons.
Yeah,
Skeletons? Okay.
Undead, yeah. I don't know. They were in Rolf's original lair.
Oh, that's right. You took them over and you basically deposit them back there, and they basically sit back there and attack anyone that goes out the back door. Okay.
Yeah, I have no
those
direct
guys, yeah.
control over them. They're just kind of undead trapped in that garden.
You could dump the mythic skeletons in the back, and they would probably not bother the other skeleton owlbears. You could also dump them in this front garden here, but
Oh, let's not pollute the front garden. I want to put horrible plants in that garden.
okay.
And I'm worried the skeletons might dig it up.
Maybe the back garden then? We'll just stockpile our undead there.
I like that. Yes. That's a bit of a weak spot. We sort of got into the house originally through windows on that area.
And there's also mass graves back there, so if we ever need to raise any additional skeletons, it's a great source.
The mass graves. Yes, absolutely. Good.
All right, so you're able to dump the ancient skeletons into the back. At first level, these things were a threat. At 10th level, these things are kind of laughable. Of course, you could do it from the roof, so you've got 3 skeletons that are waving their swords at you.
Yeah, I think we would do that, because then we don't have to burn any magic. We just kind of dump them in there.
Like maybe a fly spell to get up there. All right. So how do you take their weapons away from them as they're standing looking up at you while you're on the roof?
I've just been assuming that Thurgus would walk up and just beat each of them down, and then we would pick the swords out of the collection of bones before they reform. But if you've got something more clever, feel free.
Let's see, pilfering hand, perhaps? Yes, let's see here.
Well, that seems fun, doesn't it?
Yes, I will attempt to disarm against a foe within range. Yes.
So you sicking Thurgus on them, or what?
I think I'm going to try to pilfering hand them from the air so that we don't smash any of our undead guys up.
All right, the wizards are gonna try first.
So pilfering hand, I can do a disarm, an abrupt maneuver to instantaneously disarm a foe within range. Use my caster level as CMB, adding int modifier.
I'm gonna bring out my shield from the earlier skeletons, where I still have one skull. With a leather strap tied to its chattering mouth.
Nice.
And let it gaze upon its fellows.
All right, it clacks its teeth. It always clacks its teeth. You pilfering hand the thing. You make a CMB check. Just roll a d20. Yeah, you knock its scimitar out of its hand.
Since I'm successful, I can pull the object to me, and if I have a hand free, I will catch it.
Alright, so the scimitar goes... It's in your hand. It's backwards in your hand, but it's in your hand. And the skeleton's now, like, clawing at the wall to try to get its abyssal steel scimitar back.
I will hand it to Fereosae, and I will spell recall pilfering hand.
Okay.
And I will attempt to do it again.
Alright, so you effectively establish that you don't even have to go down and bash them to steal their weapons. So you end up stealing their weapons. You've got 3 abyssal steel scimitars made for medium creatures.
Ah, splendid.
And 3 regenerating ancient skeletons in your backyard. Your
yeah.
undead collection has grown.
Now that I have, or I guess afterwards I can study the bag and figure out if there's command words to like put them back in and whatnot.
This would have taken Thurgus like one sweep of his sword to get rid of.
This was fun, though.
Sure.
And thematic.
All right, so you provide the metal, and we'll say they need to deconstruct a single medium-sized scimitar to end up creating a pick for a smaller creature. So,
and the other two, I'll just leave to the forge if we ever need abyssal steel for anything.
yeah, it probably takes them 5 days to create the actual masterwork pick, and then another day or so to magic the sword.
Sure.
So he plays around with the abyssal steel pick, and the other two, I guess, are just there to act as crafting materials for something in the future, or if somebody wants a ×3 crit.
And then
Scimitar?
I'll take, I have a wooden tusk from Trogax, who we turned to wood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take that tusk and wood shape it into the position of the haft of the pick.
Okay. Surprisingly, the little quasi-invisible gummy bear familiar made from Thurgus's blood and the water of a divine being is able to craft to your specifications.
Thank you. I'll tell him in Aquan.
Ha! You better use it for something good.
Oh, I will. Yes. Oh, I will. There will be blood. I'll carve the wooden handle of the pick, and use the professor's wand to turn it back.
Ha! It's shish whoosh wish whoosh, not shish wish whoosh.
Thank you.
No problem.
Subtle, though, isn't it?
Yes.
A delicate and beautiful language.
Oh, sure. I like it. Swoosh. Professor, I have a note here in your downtime saying, learn Titan at library, investigate chthonic book. And I think you mean this kind of chthonic.
Yes, I do mean that.
All right. So you're going to your family's house library?
Yes, I figure it's probably good that one of us knows Titan, considering the direction this campaign's gone. So, I put some ranks into linguistics.
No. You're not gonna get that too easy.
Yeah.
So, how are you traveling to the Maison Chalmers?
I think I'll teleport. I mean, I grew up here, so it's probably an easy teleport.
Are you bringing your familiar?
I think I'm definitely gonna bring Icky Maester's hand. He goes with me pretty much everywhere.
All right, so I'm gonna go to the Maison Chalmers Library Annex. Hey, look, you're already there.
You never left. Headed off to the library for some light studying.
People don't seem to care. They seem to be busy with their own things.
Yes, it's just down the hall. Yes.
Yes, but need a few other books. I'll be back later. Probably late.
Are you asking for friends to join you?
Oh, it is entirely up to you. But I have room on the teleport if anyone is interested in tagging along.
This is in the middle of Fereosae's experimentation with the Emperor Nectarine. Zephyros is actually out selling with Buchrabech. Thurgus is in the middle of his in the middle of his prayer to become an inquisitor. Christopher is passing a kidney stone. Buchrabech selling.
In time for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone just has their own shit to do.
Have fun.
Step out the door. Ah, the bustle of activity.
You teleport to your manor.
Yes.
Okay. You use your grandfather's ring to get in.
Yes, I will close it up behind me as I go in.
All right, and then you arrive at the proper time of day, which is night.
Yes, I'll go a little early and enjoy a drink and a smoke in the lounge adjacent to the stairwell.
Okay. Creaking from upstairs reminds you that you are not alone in this house, as your grandmother's spirit is still wandering around and then complaining from the kitchen area.
I grimace at the sound of her, but the fear of my grandmother upstairs is oddly comforting in its terrifying way because it reminds me of childhood.
Okay. That evening, you are able to access the black door under the stairs, leading you into the library annex, which is a demi-plane unto itself.
I will stroll through with the calm familiarity of someone who's been here many times.
All right. The strange horn is not lit, and you see that the magnifying glass, the big telescopic magnifying glass on its stand, is still in the position where you left it, kind of pointing directly at the odd sphere.
I'll glance about a little bit to make sure everything seems to be where we left it last time we were here.
The one thing that is weird is that the bookshelves are not the same. Some of the titles have been shifted around.
Do I kind of recognize this as just the library sort of being alive and moving around, right?
Yes. You're pretty sure that the librarian does this.
Yeah, it's kind of just normal for things to be different from the last time you saw it. Librarian, are you about?
You don't hear anything.
I suppose I must find it myself then.
Crawling Claw taps you on the shoulder and points at the orb.
Oh, yes. The orb, right. Do we have any candles? Damn it. Did we not grab any?
Crawling Claw makes the arcane sigil for the element acid.
I suppose, yes, we could do some acid. Yeah, towards the flame, right? I will walk up and I will do a silent image of a acidic burning flame appearing just at the crux of this thing, where the flame is supposed to go. Though it's an illusion, it will not. I don't think it will trigger it. So I will concentrate on it. And I will do Shadow Gambit, where I can turn a shadow reel. Hold on, it's I've never done this before, so I can turn a figment spell into damage as if the illusion were real.
Okay, so it deals real acid damage. The strange curled horn, you have a hard time, is it a horn or a seashell? It's a horn maybe. Lights up with green flame, and when the green light passes over the orb, you can see that the orb is much, much different than the perfect stone smooth sphere. It has textures to it, and it looks like different layers of weirdly carved concentric hollow circles, like spheres, within each other. Like some giant puzzle.
Ah, yes, Master Library Keeper. How are you?
Young. Young? Henry Sinclair. How long has it been?
Oh, not long this time. Weeks by our time, and by yours.
Yes. I sense you have brought me a new book.
Ah, yes, an excellent book. I will present a copy of my manuscript to the librarian.
Is it a copy or is it the original?
I think a copy. I don't want to give the... I still want to maintain at least one copy of my own.
What is this? What is this? It has been so long since I've received new material. Well, I've read my favorites over and over, and I've started from the beginning and read it to the end, and then from the end to the beginning, and then random letters, and then by subject, and then gone back to my favorites and read them until the pages have turned. But this is new.
Hot off the presses, new, my friend.
Oh. Presses? No. This was penned by an author. What is it? Show it to me. I can smell the ink. It is fresh. It's binding stiff and new, and I've got a special place. Like, you see some books, like, just sort of shift off to the side on a shelf. A special place for it.
It's like in the movies where, like, trumpets are playing and, like, golden warm light is basking on the professor's face. Someone wants his book as he walks inexorably towards the shelf. You're going to love it. It is a masterwork.
Okay, you place the book on the shelf. For a moment, the books beside it just sort of like clamp in next to the book, and then the book goes shooting into the back of the shelf somewhere, and the adjacent books clamp shut like the shelf was greedy.
Yes, how do you like that?
Oh, this was penned by you.
Ah.
What an interesting topic. Immortality. Oh. Your grandfather would be impressed. You have progressed in your studies of magic. I recognize his teachings here.
Yes, and gone far beyond where grandfather even dreamed in some areas. The old man was a bit limited in his vision. Necromancy this, teleport that.
Now, how should I file this? Under which system? Should I file this under hubris?
Oh, I've always thought it more under poetic tragedy myself, but...
Wait, this is but the first volume. Where are the others? Is this autobiographical, or is this fiction?
Well, I must keep my fans anticipating future works, build the hype and all that for the grand finale. Surely you must appreciate a little flair for dramatics.
Good, good. I accept this. The next time you visit, I expect another.
No, I will get writing as soon as I get home. But in the meantime, I need a...
I wish to hear what you do with 6 circle spells.
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The occasional illusion.
Truly, you do not have 6 circle spells, or you would have mentioned it on page 37, page 69, and page 103.
Yes, well. Ah, I see. Everyone is a critic, I suppose.
Oh, no. I appreciate this new material. It is very illuminating.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. There will be more forthcoming.
Now, I do require and would like some more material that is mundane. Anything written. News leafs, pamphlets, books by contemporary authors, ledgers, really anything written down. You see, your family has left me here for some time without providing new volumes. And trust me, I will read this manuscript front and back. Oh yes, upside down and out of order. I shall count the words.
You are truly an inspiration in your dedication to your work, sir. I don't have much more on me. I'll rifle through my pockets. Maybe I have like some old train receipts or something to give him. Maybe like a sign-in form from the Arcanaecrum I just never filled out.
Yes, but not in this quantity. For things such as this, I would want wagon loads.
Yes, I'll try to bring something more quality later.
Excellent.
Hard to find a good book these days, even on the outside, I'm afraid.
Now, young Henry Sinclair, what can I do for you?
Ah, yes, some books on the topic of the ancient and dead language of Titan.
What makes you think the language is dead?
No. The rabble. But I'm sure there are some out there who still speak it. You, perchance, still speak it?
Yes. Yes, I will be willing to teach you the basics in Titan. Do you happen to know Giant?
Ah, yes, I've studied Giant. I will recite some Giantish poetry if I recall any.
Oh. Giant is actually a derivative of Titan.
Yes, I'd heard theories on that.
I will teach you this language.
Splendid.
Okay. The librarian is able to provide books. He doesn't actually, run a lesson. He shows you some weird books in the library that have passages of Titan. He gives you a few pointers, and you are able to spend your rank in Titan.
I'm looking back through. Did we get this guy's name? I don't see anything written down.
He did call himself something, but...
Yeah, it's got to be in here somewhere. Okay. Titan. Nice.
Do you ask him?
Yeah, I'll ask him. We're getting to be quite friendly here. We got a little book club going.
You can call me a librarian.
It is so formal and stuffy. If you insist, I shall. But if there's a more friendly name...
Well, then.
Librarian, that is your preference?
If you must insist, you could call me Chateau.
Chateau, that was it? Ah, yes, Chateau, I remember.
You can feel it grinning.
Yes, well, thank you for the books. I will spend some time perusing.
Very well, young Henry. Remember, the next time you come here, you must bring more.
Get writing.
All right. So you spend a few days, or you spend like a few days at the library learning Titan, because you suspect when you leave, he's not going to let you back in or continue to help until you bring more books.
Yeah, which is fine because I quickly just get lost in the work and lose a few days.
You investigated the Chthonic book. I thought I gave you the powers of this thing. This is the creepy book, right?
Yeah, I wanted to sort of see if I could figure anything else out about it. Like do psychometry. I know it has a very complex illusion permanently imprinted on it that makes it look really spooky-ooky. So I wanted to, as a fellow illusionist, sort of study the artist's craft and see if I could gain any insight. You know, use arcane vision to look at its magical properties. Maybe do some page-bound epiphanies on how I could read the book without going insane.
Did you get the powers of the book though? Like I'm looking for.
I don't think so. I don't know if we ever really delved deep into the book of Chthonic Visions.
You're talking about the oh, I thought you were talking about the Tome of the Still Tongue.
No, it was the book that. Here we go. Book of Chthonic Visions is a book with all sorts of horrific, Otra-like drawings in it. It turns out to be a rather simple book in like the arcane sigils that it uses. It's sort of like the ABCs of magic, but with these Geiger-esque like scenes around them. You realize that you were a foolish young boy that was confused by the grimness of this grimoire, and that this book doesn't have much power over planes or anything that would have resulted in the disappearance of your brother. 3 times per day, as a move action, you could call upon the book when it's in hand to increase the DC of illusion and fear spells by 2.
What?
Because that's what you needed.
Oh my god, higher DCs!
Marty, you've done this to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yep.
no. Imagine what he has planned for us is giving us these.
I know,
and,
right?
and I'm just gonna blame it on Ahmed because he spent the boon.
Listen, guys, I need to log off.
Oh yeah,
Have a good night, man.
a little bit after
Have a good
11.
night.
Yeah, we're actually near the end of downtime, so.
Cool. Where? I gotta see where we have that book even. I think it's online somewhere.
All right, so you've got that move action 3 times per day. Use it as part of a casting of a fear descriptor or illusion spell.
Move action, gotta be holding it, can increase DCs by 2 on fear and illusions. Got it.
All right, so you investigate the book, you do some face punch training, you scribe some scrolls, you spend some time in the sauna, you sell scrolls and spells, you work more on your manuscript. Okay, fine. You sell some scrolls and work on your manuscript. So it's all part of the first volume.
I did have in there a lesser planar binding experiment. I know we're running out of time, so you know if we gotta skip it. That's fine. I had been working on getting like planar binding, circle of protection, evil, dimensional anchor to try and experiment with it.
Can we do that as the first thing next game?
Yeah, wasn't there also something? Fereosae, you had something? I think too.
There's a pixel-related item still.
Yeah, and there was some. I think we were gonna muck around with some memories as well too.
Oh yes, yes. I have modify memory now, so I can modify some of your memories.
All right. First thing next game, we're going to put modify memory and the lesser planar binding experiment. I'm going to get to the last thing for tonight. Well, second last. Pixel. So, Fereosae, after playing with the Emperor Nectarine tree, comes up with an idea. And the idea is to, using her knowledge of plants and her connection to the autumn spirit, create a leshy just the body of a leshy that her own familiar could inhabit. You've paid the costs associated with the pixel level and hit dice?
I will happily do that.
Okay. And you are able to, by taking 10, make the knowledge check. Knowledge nature check to craft.
Let's see here. The skill is... what's the check amount? Let's see by 2.
Yeah, I lost the link. Give me a second.
What's the
Leshy
base knowledge check?
template, Leshy creating. It would be probably 10 plus half.
Plus 2 per hit dice or something?
No, it'd be half her hit dice.
Yeah, she's got 5 hit dice. Oh, sorry, 10 hit dice, so 5.
Oh no, it'd be 10 plus her level, so 18.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 20. Sorry, DC 20.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I can get that if I get hit real hard in the head first and roll a 1.
Okay. Plus you're a bard, so you can take 20, right?
So something along those lines. Yeah.
All right. So the body of the Emperor Nectarine tree, the magical plant, gets turned into the form for a leshy. You realize that the plant is now no longer a plant and is actually Pixel's form. And by the grace of Autumn and your ability to manipulate plants, you stick a very willing Pixel into the nectarine tree itself. And I think we agreed that she would become a leshy of the leaf type,
Yeah.
but also with the powers of the nectarine tree.
That's going to be fun. What happens if she dies?
Give me a knowledge nature for this.
Can I take 20 on this one?
Yeah, you could contemplate on another day.
Yeah, let's do plus that's a 41 in that case. And I can actually do it twice a day at this level.
Cool. When Pixel emerges in the leafy plant form, which kind of looks like more like a flower that bears little
Do it
fruit,
twice a day next level. Yes.
if she dies in this form, she will have to make sort of like a system shock fortitude save and burst out and be her original form.
Okay.
You would lose the leshy husk that she is inside of, and possibly lose her.
That fits pretty well with leshies in general, since they sort of don't fear death because they just kind of inhabit the husk.
In the dying days of autumn, Fereosae places her familiar inside of this magical plant and creates the flower of autumn that is now the Pixel Leshy, who appears. I've got a token for her on the screen as a little wispy flower. How big is a leaf leshy? I think she's a little bit bigger than she was before.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was, I think, fine before. A leaf leshy is a small plant.
Okay, so she's as big as you. I think you may have to adjust. Like you'll have to kind of place. You'll have to basically rebuild your familiar using leaf leshy as the base.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. What was the fly maneuverability of Pixel before?
I believe it was. It may have been perfect. Let's check. It's still on here. What's her movement? Where is that? I think it was perfect.
40 perfect. So what I'm going to say, given that leaf leshies are a little underwhelming with their move speeds, the monster manual says this is the other half of the boon from Ahmed.
Nice.
The monster manual says their movement rate should be this. I'm going to say their speeds are 20 in all 3 categories.
Okay. Yeah.
And her fly is good.
Okay.
Just because she has experience flying as a little pixie mode. So the rest of this just needs to be rebuilt for probably next game. Unless you've already done it.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it over the week.
She effectively loses her racial abilities as a pixie.
Yes.
Um,
So the ability to turn on light, the spell-like ability, the DR cold iron.
Yep. She gains the immunities of the leaf leshy, and then I guess the glide and seed pods power. Plus the abilities of the nectarine tree, so she can basically follow you around and produce. You basically feed her potions. She makes fruit.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say that once per day she can produce a good berries spell.
Nice. Sounds delicious.
Which means she can keep Fereosae and others potentially fed.
Nice.
In the dying day of autumn, Pixel is turned into an autumn flower. You know that these flowers do not last forever. As the dying light of the seasons shall soon turn to winter. It is on that very eve that Pixel is turned, and you guys are making plans to modify memories and to cast planar binding spells. Thurgus, you finished all of your prayers. When I guess Buchrabech would have contacted Zephyros. Zephyros actually comes wandering downstairs. Something's amiss.
Oh, what is it?
Buchrabech contacted me. I think it is called a sending spell.
Ah, yes. Well, what did he say?
He says Crescinda has a job for us.
Please, for the love of God, tell me it has to do with killing alchemists.
Maybe. Don't know. The sending spell can only send so many words.
I'm in.
Someone's gone missing.
Oh, fucking alchemists, I knew it.
Ah, the first hints of winter.
And remember that swordsman?
The captain? What was his name?
No, the trainer.
Yes.
The man with the academy.
Ah, the Orisini fighting school.
Apparently the academy's been burned down.
Ooh. Well. And we're to find this missing academy master?
Ben Carlo.
There are not many words shared between ascending. We should make contact with Buchrabech to find out more.
I have a theory.
Well, all right. Right now.
We should leave soon.
Right, well, let's wrap up a few things here. Go see what she has to say.
Aren't I beautiful? Just kind of floating around, a little draft in the room. Look at me!
Pixel, flower of autumn. Beautiful as ever.
Pixel, what has happened?
I have some new clothes.
Indeed.
It seems you've blossomed into quite the young woman, or fae, or...
Yes, I've blossomed.
Yes, well...
She seems to glide around the room.
Yeah, well, that's all nice and everything, so, let's just go right now and go find this dude. Like, right now.
Well, we need to find Buchrabech. He'll have more information. Apparently he's talked with Crescinda. I don't think she's doing very well.
Oh, I think I still have a promissory note from her for 1,000 Zolas. We better go soon.
Oh, Buchrabech says he has our reward.
He owes me money.
After breakfast teas, then, please.
Yeah, you guys can add right now $10,000 to your slush fund, as that's the reward that came from Crescinda. It's in 10 rolls of paper money.
Nice. Where should...
wherever you guys
I'll
keep.
add it. I don't know if you guys have looked at loot lately, but I've been trying to sort some stuff and clean some things up.
Ooh, no, I haven't, but that is much appreciated. I will delete my promissory note of $1,000.
Yeah. It's basically, this is for all of the deeds that you guys have done.
Are many deeds. Done dirt cheap.
Yeah, Zephyros is ready to leave. As we pan out from the Sundown Valley in which the Villa Malavella sits and hides, we kind of pan out to see the city of Grand Station, with the embers still burning in the Orisini Academy, and a very suspicious happening around the neighborhood where Son and his temple are located. While the people and temples and guard of the city deal with the last remnants of the Blood Veil, an uneasiness settles, an uneasy quiet settles over Grand Station as autumn plays out and is nearing a close. Winter is on the horizon, and with it, perhaps hope that the Blood Veil has completely subsided. But then again, hope is a fickle thing, and so are the gods, and so is the Queen. Apparently the entire neighborhood in which the older section of town sits with old manors and that strange temple of dreams, that neighborhood has been placed under a strange quarantine. As the new guards have taken more control over the city and the goings-on in Grand Station, you will learn that Crescinda Croft's power and that of the Grand Station Guard have been relegated to reporting directly to the Queen's Guard.
That's not too surprising, but yeah.
We moved to the country just in time, guys.
Alright, fuck it. Let's go be pirates.
These same gray maidens that you had found in the hospice working with the plague doctors. They now are, at least on the plateau and in other places, patrolling the streets with Grand Station Guard at their command.
Bad guys won.
You would learn from Buchrabech that commerce is starting to stifle under a draconian fist, and that perhaps a strange sort of lawlessness is happening in Old Station.
Is it martial law?
It's a law you understand.
My favorite kind of law.
Second only to the law of the jungle right there.
We will get with your. We will start off next game with the meeting with Buchrabech and a plea for help.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna be so juiced up on power after leveling up and all this downtime.
We should be in pretty good shape, I think, yeah.
10th level. I think the Autumn Aftermath is a good name for tonight's game, unless there's something else that captures it well.
Yeah, automatic.
I like Flower of Autumn.
Flower of Autumn.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
that's just such an awesome title.
That was a fun one. That was a good way of doing downtime.
I liked it. We did all the planning of all the nitty-gritty selling and buying and crafting, but we called out a few neat scenes, and it gives the player some time to do the really personal thing that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
It
That
had
was
good
good.
flow. I liked it.
The one thing we didn't address, and I just left it at the top, is the Arcmenos Magical Lab. Are you cool with me just leaving that in to be sorted? Because we haven't actually moved that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it up there. Because we had it down below, but it's like it's not at the villa. It's like somewhere else. We'd have to go and take that lab.
No, I think we said you took the magical pieces of the lab and can add it to any alchemy lab.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
you
I'll
do-
move
you
it
do
down to the
have that.
crafting section then.
Yep.
So we could just beef up the existing alchemy lab.
Yeah.
The
I have
one
a
the one
section
that
for-
Ludo has been using.
And we brought like a ton of books back, right?
Yeah, I put it in chat, but there's a section under Villa Malavella for books, deeds, and lore. We have like 30 books from the Arcmenos library. It's like 5,000 gold worth of books on disease, plague, and famine, and daemons.
Does that beef up the arcane research level on the villa's library at all? Considering all the books we picked up,
What's it at now?
it's just level 1 right now.
Yeah, I would say you're at level 2, 3. We'll say 3.
3?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta figure out how to edit this text box.
I couldn't click any of the text boxes.
There's like a special tool in map tools.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys continue to converse. I'll just mute your
Cool.
mics while I shut down the stream. But for those watching on YouTube, thanks for your support. This is the 40th episode and last episode of Chapter 2. We will